Good morning, it's day 69. We just dropped us off on a trail that took us to Jensen Pond Shelter. Our goal today is to reach the campsite right before Mahoosic Notch. I believe that puts us at around a 12-mile day, plus the side trail to the shelter. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing Mahoosic Notch. I'm 0.2 from the summit of Mount Success and about 2 miles from the Maine. I want to give you one last challenge before you get out of Maine. New Hampshire. Yeah, climb this rope. Man, they have a lot more faith in this small tree than I would. That thing is the same height as me, and they got the rope tied around it. There it is. New Hampshire-Maine state line. I just came down that, had to do a little butt scooting to get down there. So the Maine is a little bit like New Hampshire. You can still see what mountain you're going to be at next, and it still has a good deal of rocks. The Mahoosic Notch, which is right where we'll be camping before tonight, that is the hardest mile on the AT, and it usually takes people around 2 to 4 hours depending on how fast they do it. And then William was saying you don't want to pull your phone out too many times in the notch, because there's a lot of spots your phone, if you don't have a good grip on it, can fall in between rocks and you never get it back. So, not sure how much filming I'll do for the first part tomorrow, but I will try to get some pictures and videos of the Mahoosic Notch. Sure, these videos don't show quite how steep it is, but man, Maine is not messing around today. So I just came down these facing away from the wall, and I was thinking that's probably not the way you're really supposed to do it. But I didn't fall, so that's good. Morning is day 70. We just finished the Mahoosic Notch in 58 minutes. Just made it to the top of the Mahoosic Arm. The Mahoosic Notch only took us 58 minutes, which is a little bit faster than I was expecting. I was expecting an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But it wasn't sober. I was talking to yesterday, and he said he knew some people who were doing it in 40 minutes, and some people were doing about 2.5 hours. So a little on the quicker side, but for the toughest mile, it wasn't terrible, just a lot of big boulders. I honestly think the arm was worse. It was pretty much just a giant slab of rocks, and it was just straight up flat slab for the majority of the time. The mountain over there is Old Spec. That's where we'll be climbing up shortly. We made it to Spec Pond campsite. We're considering staying the night. That would give us about a 5 mile day today. And then we'll do the next section and split into 2 more days. So we'll be out here for 4 nights instead of 3. Good morning, it's day 71. We're going 10.4 miles to Five Notch Lean-To today. At the campsite last night, there's a bunch of college kids there, and they didn't know good camp etiquette, so they just had their white lights on instead of the red lights, so they kept shining in on the shelter. So it wasn't too much sleep that I got last night, but it is what it is. I'll check in with you guys up trail. At the top of Old Spec Mountain Fire Tower, it is windy up here. I'm sure this used to be a huge waterfall, but now it's just a little drizzle because we're in a drought right now in Maine, and a lot of the water sources are pretty dry or just have scoopable puddles. So we got to plan out where we'll camp and carefully every night to make sure we actually have water. We are now considering going extra 4 miles to the stealth site right before the road. That way Wayne can pick us up earlier in the morning. We just gotta get a second chance in on it, but he's still far behind. I'm not sure if he'll go for it, but we will see. Headed to the top of Bald Plate West Peak, and I believe that mountain in front of me is the East Peak. Yep, that looks like the mountain we're going to be climbing up next. And that does not look like a fun climb. Unless the trail goes more to the left and then we climb up in the trees. Otherwise we'll be going up that slab. It's a pretty good view. And yes, it turns out trail maintainers in southern Maine, they hate hikers. That's the trail over there, and that's where I just came from. I was sitting down and taking a little break, but that sky does not look too good, and being this high up on the slab, I really don't want any thunderstorms, so I'm gonna get moving and hopefully at least make it to the shelter before it rains. Coming down the back side of the mountain, and get a decent view. Just made it to the Five Notch Lean-To. Haven't decided yet if staying or moving on. Gonna try to wait a little bit longer to see when Ambassador and Second Chance will show up, see what they want to do. Good morning, it's day 72. The current plan is to do 14 miles to tent site. I do not know the name of it. We're gonna do the first 4.5 miles and then see if we can get a ride from Wing It into town and do a resupply, and then hike on. Since it was going to rain, we decided to stay at that shelter to try to keep us from packing up wet tents, which we succeeded. So hopefully the rain's done, but it's not looking good. It looks like it today. Took the Blue Blaze to go see the waterfall, and I imagine that if it wasn't a drought, this would probably all have water filling it. Just got dropped off at Wing It about 20 minutes ago. Got 9 miles to the tent site that we were originally planning on going to. Hopefully the rain holds out, because as of right now, the weather forecast says there's a 30% chance from 1 to 6 p.m. So that would be a little bit of pain, because that'll probably be the time I'm getting to camp, and who wants to set up a tent in the rain? Because this particular campsite doesn't have any shelter, so it's just a tent site. At the Surplus Pond. It's a shame this canoe doesn't have any paddles with it, otherwise I'd probably go out. Just leaving the Surplus Pond. Now I was walking past the intersection to get back on the AT. I got stung by probably a hornet or a wasp. So I guess I got too close to a nest or something. Doing a lot of moose poop on the trail today. No moose. Maybe I'll get to see one before I leave Maine. Well, it's 1:30 and now I'm at the lean-to, I forget the name of it, but it's starting to rain. Still got another 4 miles to the tent site. I'm undecided whether I'm gonna do that or not. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's a maybe at this point. It's a maybe. I feel bad for Ambassador and Second Chance. They haven't made it in yet, and it is downpouring like crazy. It is 3:18. Just leaving the Hall Mountain lean-to. It poured rain for about 2 hours, and now it stopped, so I'm going to try to luck out again and beat the rain, get over Moody Mountain and camp at the South Farm Road campsite, which is 4 miles from here. So another 2 hours walking probably. Moody Mountain, I heard it's a little rough, so we'll see how that goes with it all wet. Yep, I'll check in with you guys on a quick trail. Man, that's a stinking wicked climb up Moody Mountain. It's you go from 1,100 feet to 2,450 feet, and I think it's 1.5 miles. And there's a bunch of steps, some rebar. Man, it's a little bit of a miserable climb. And this is the only view you get after all that work. About to head back down the other side, which as far out isn't lying to me. It is an easier descent than ascent. But the rain started back up, so now everything's gonna be all wet again. Good morning, today is day 73. We will either be shooting for a 12.4 mile day, and that'll get us to stealth campsites and a cool lake, or we will be going for a 17-mile day to shelter, which I just looked, but I forget the name of it. It's 17 miles from where we started, so it'll be a bigger day, but it's also got a lake, and that will set us up better for a resupply the next day. But we'll have to see how we feel when we get to that 12-mile mark. Got some more rebar today at the top of Old Blue Mountain. There's not much for views. Here's a small view. It's not too much you can see with all the trees, but the sky is starting to clear up, and they have a bench there, so I might take a little break here. It's cool walking through all these small evergreens. Almost to the top of Bemis Mountain, and this is the view. That must have been the summit, because now I'm starting to go down. I got 5 more miles if I'm gonna do the first option, and then I still got around 9 miles if I want to push and go to the shelter with lean-to, because apparently all the shelters up in Maine are pretty much lean-tos, which they save you from the rain, but they're not the best to sleep in. They're a little less comfortable and a little less spacious. But I'm still undecided, so we'll see what happens. It's amazing that these birds don't even care that I'm here. They let me get this close. They must see too many people up here. Here's the best view of the day so far. It looks like it's about to rain. So hopefully I can make it to one of the camps before it does that. Well, it looks like we're going to be staying at Bemis Stream. There's a few stealth sites. It's a little unfortunate because I was hoping to make it over to Eddy Pond tomorrow and camp there, because there is some canoes there that you're allowed to take out. But now that would be a 17.8 mile day, so that'd be too big. But I'll probably still stop by there at some point. Good morning, today is day 74. I'm going to try to make it to that Eddy Pond today. That would be 18 miles. It is relatively flat today. It would only be like 3,000 total elevation gain for the day to do that, so I might shoot for that. It's really going to depend on how long my resupply takes. I gotta run into Rangeley and resupply. If that goes by quickly, that's where I'll end up. If we take too long doing that, there's a shelter around 16 miles that that's where I end up at. Just came up this first 1,000-foot climb for the day, and it's a pretty good view up here. This is a view of Sabbath Day Pond. The past few days, the weather has been very cool. Like yesterday, the high was 65. Today, the high is 60. It's kind of the perfect hiking weather until you stop, because then you get very cold. But while you're hiking, it's very nice because you're not overheating big time. Just got a ride back from Rangeley with Wing It after doing my resupply. I went a little overboard because I kind of knew, it's looking at the map, future, it's just going to be all pretty much general stores, and those are pricey. So I definitely bought more food than I'm going to need in between this next stretch. but it's what it is. Yeah, so they definitely had a good selection at the IGA, and the prices were decent for a grocery store. Plan is going to Eddy Pond. That's about 3 miles from where I am currently. If I get there with enough light, I might take a canoe route and canoe for a little bit. If not, I might do that tomorrow morning, because it looks like there's not going to be a big day tomorrow because, well, mileage-wise, but it will be a big day elevation-wise. So we'll see what happens. That's cool. Got to Eddy Pond, set up tent. This sunset looks like it's going to be pretty good. Barefoot and I went out on the pond earlier. He caught a bunch of fish, and now he's out there with Puck. I got my stove going, and I'm going to cook up some North sides with a dessert of Oreos. So, should be a pretty good day. And even though we did 18 miles today, it wasn't too hard on the body because the train was much easier than it has been in the earlier parts of southern Maine. But tomorrow's going to be a little bit rougher elevation-wise and stuff, so we'll see how it goes. Good morning. Today's day 75. Had a very good day yesterday. Got to spend some time out on the lake, enjoy the sunset, even though there wasn't too much to see because trees kind of covered it, but it did have a few good colors in there. Plan is to go around 9 miles to Ovinson Stream. There's some stout sites. Yeah, because it's going to be a big day elevation-wise. I believe it's 1,500 feet and 2 miles, so that's relatively steep. So we'll see how it goes. Right there you can see Eddy Pond. So I haven't mentioned this in any of the videos yet, but my plans for after I reach Katahdin now, my grandparents are coming up and they're gonna give me a ride home, and then I take about 5 days off or something like that, and then I'm gonna get a ride to Harper's Ferry and go south instead of the original plan, which was to go north. But if I went north, a lot of the hostels would be closed by the time I got to them in Virginia. So, and I would be almost guaranteed to walk by myself if I did that. So, I'm gonna go south from Harper's Ferry opposed to the going north from Georgia. Made it to the top of Saddleback Mountain. Looks like they used to have a fire tower up here, but it doesn't like they really would need it because you can see for a long, long way up here. You can probably even see Katahdin at some point because we are getting pretty close to it. what they got that off of, because it's not the standard setup that you usually see up here, so it's probably off of like a barn or something. I do like where you can see the mountain you just came from. That is Saddleback Mountain right there. Made it to the top of Saddleback Junior Mountain. Washington is somewhere over there. I'm not sure which peak it is, but it's one of those peaks. And then those close ones are the ones I just came down. And then way over there, Barefoot swears he can see Katahdin, but the rangefinder thing that he has would not zoom in that far, so it's a possibility you can see Katahdin way back there. So last time I'll be above tree line for today. I have to go back down, and then camp is only another 4 miles away, so there's not that much more to do today. But that'll be alright, because the climbs on the last two mountains were a little rough, so it'll be good to take it easy. And then Saturday, the plan is to do 0 day, and there's apparently trail days, a mini version of it going on in Rangeley, so we're gonna take a 0, try to find a ride back to Rangeley. Hopefully Wing It won't be too busy and he'll be able to take us, but yeah, so that'll be a fun experience if we can make it to that, but we will see. Made it to camp. I ended up about 2 miles ahead of the south side I was originally shooting for, but it is still at another south side by the stream. And I think in future videos I'm going to try to use, I got my headphones here, they got a mic on them. I'm going to try to use that to see if that helps. I'm not sure how that will work when I'm walking, so we're going to try that out in future videos and see if that can help with some of that noise, because I know it's not ideal.